Whether it's your location or your likes, targeted digital ads are the new way political campaigns are seeking your data.
And as Local 12's Christian Hauser explains, they do it without your permission.
It's just this incredibly powerful tool for targeting people, what hits them emotionally, which causes them to feel something and want to act. And it's really beyond anything we've ever seen in political or policy advocacy.
Political campaigns can use your phone's location tracker to see where you've been. That location data is allowing voter targeting to become more invasive. It's called IP targeting. You might have seen such ads on social media. Last fall, Twitter changed its policy on political ads, adding stricter rules. Google quickly followed, but Facebook has not changed its rules. The changes, though, don't have much effect in Ohio. In Ohio, there's no longer a law for the spreading of false messages, whether it's through social media or direct targeting. Jeff Ruppert is the treasurer and counsel for several political action committees. He says some of his clients use targeted ads. The spreading of false messages was struck down in 2015 in a Supreme Court decision, Susan B. Anthony List versus Driehaus, which challenged the constitutionality of this Ohio revised code.
Then even if they feel this need to check something, there's those traditional checks that we used to have against false messages. You can send a targeted message to somebody who's susceptible to that. They want to go out and they check, and what they do, they stay within Facebook, and we all know that Facebook just reinforces those messages, because on Facebook, almost everything you see is targeted to you anyway and what you're prone to want to see anyway, right? Because even if somebody else is typing something different, only 7 to 17% of those messages ever get onto your Facebook page.
So now, not only are the messages directed toward you, but also in Ohio, there's nothing stopping messages that are false from being delivered to you. Indiana University micro-targeting expert Paul Palmer has worked with data to market everything from Star Wars toys to greeting cards. He remembers the time of surveys and mall intercepts.
The infamous, "Excuse me, sir," "Excuse me, ma'am, can I bother you for 10 questions really quick before you exit the mall, before you exit the store?" Now we're able to accomplish that either in a digital format, with a survey, with I send you a link and you go to some form of information center. Now I'm able to really dig in and even track your behaviors.
What happens when your data is not used to get you to market what you like? What about when it targets you to try and change your mind?
I don't get involved in this, but this is used a lot of times for voter suppression as well. There's no doubt about that. Because you have to remember the combination of being able to micro-target, particularly to send false information, it's the perfect weapon to use for voter suppression.
That is significant.
Palmer has watched the ways people's data is now used against them.
We don't want to use stereotypes, say this is how people always behave, but it gives us an ideal picture of how they typically or traditionally might respond to certain situations, certain types of stimulus, certain types of input.
And what data can do for voter suppression?
That really can sway people's points of view. It can keep people from going to the polls. When actually, if they had gone out and participated, if they had taken their concerns to management, if they had taken their concerns to the polls, they might actually have been able to enact change.
Professor Palmer thinks this is something we're going to be wrestling with for the next 15 to 20 years. And there he says the only way that we're going to keep our data private is to unplug. And that's something most of us, myself included, would find nearly impossible. And with an upcoming election, what do we do?
And it starts really with understanding that when you sign into a Facebook, Snapchat, when you search online, when you buy with your credit card, it's data. A little piece of you is being put out into the netherland that people are going to be able to use for purposes that you may not really support.
So is privacy really private anymore if political campaigns are able to use targeted data without your permission?
I think the moment you hit the accept button, no matter what we say, we've surrendered that privacy. And to be quite honest, once you hit that button, I'm not sure how you get it back ever.
And California recently passed a law where you can ask companies like Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and even Starbucks to delete and stop selling your data, even if you don't live in California.